bad, not they off in mind. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street, they hawk. Still them talk, say, make we no talk. But thank God, say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout. Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses. Oh, yo, yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun diary politico. Oh, yo, yo.
Now, the Labour Party office is under attack. All the doors at the national headquarters have been broken and they have entered the office, purportedly trying to hold a meeting in the office. That meeting is not authorized by me, it's not authorized by the National Working Committee. The Labour Party is under serious attack, personally and individually, because of the case we have against the APC in court. All of this blackmail, all of this attack is tailored towards destroying the mandate that has been freely given to us by Nigerians. Nigerians must rise to the occasion, defend their country, defend democracy, and defend the Labour Party. Thank you. Mayegun làwa mọ̀, àmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Hello there.
Ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Thank you so much. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Ń ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary politico.
Ọmọ wàhálà wà o.
Kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun diary. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́wọ̀n.
Share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. It's going to be an interesting night. I can promise you that ahead. And then like the broadcast, read the caption, read the description, and sit back. Yeah. And make your own contribution too.
Àníyàn súnra kì í. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Mayegun ti dé.
Balógun Oníkẹ́kù.
Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àníyàn súnra kì í. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube.
APC, ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́, Tinubu desperados men. They attempted to take over Labour Party since, according to reports, the pressure to get Obi to withdraw his case against Kolu failed. So they decided to hijack the entire party, even before the case starts. And it was so ridiculous, right? Ridiculously done that they brought a man that a lot of you are actually hearing for the first time. Lamidi, Apapa, Abi Lamidi Wolf, Abi Lamidi Ibo, Lamidi Agbado. Omo, he has just one mandate, that old man, from wherever they got him from. One mandate. There will be some renegades that are going to get caught ex parte order. That's not like a case. So ex parte order is just to say, court will say, I mean, somebody will approach court and say, oh, I want to stop you from parading yourself as a chairman of that party. Okay? And then the court will be like, okay, stop parading yourself. So APC will then latch on that and take it national. They have judges, they have lawyers. Lamidi Agbado, that you have never heard of, just surfaced and said he is now the chairman of Labour Party. And in fact, he came with his executives. And their assignment is to make sure that the Obi, Peter Obi, that he didn't join them. He is not a member of a Labour Party. The two of them are not member of Labour Party. Therefore, Labour Party have no case against Tinubu APC. And therefore, they are also withdrawing the entire case. Guess those who were so happy after they finished the preparation. APC, Egbe. Have you been on social media today? Have you seen those, or since yesterday, have you seen those who are celebrating the new chairman of Labour Party? They are APC members. Honestly. And they are telling him to please act quickly, because they only have just about 11 days to go before Tinubu must respond to the petition, the presidential election petition. So, Lamidi has just one job: suspend Peter Obi or dismiss Peter Obi, and that he dismiss them. They are not members of Labour. After that, dismiss the entire executive of a Labour Party with a court order. Lamidi that nobody knows from anywhere. He currently have about 6 senior advocates of Nigeria, SANS, that are now working for him for his own faction of Labour Party. And they are saying that they are ready to take the case to Supreme Court. That Lamidi is the authentic chairman of Labour Party. Let me show you when Lamidi came. The first video you saw was after they came and they were gone. Mr. Lamidi. Hey there. Where is Lamidi? Bomofi Lamidi is insane. No, that's Mr. Lamidi.
Hey, come up there. Hey, Amani.
So now, let's hear from the chairman now. Let's hear from the now, come here.
Okay.
I'd like to tell you that there is change of command in the Labour Party. So that you can get the voice based on the court judgment that we received yesterday and the injunction that we received yesterday, restraining the national chairman.
Come up there.
That's Mr. Lamidi. Is holding an ex parte order from the ward, according to them, the ward executive, who are the ward exco of Labour Party, where the chairman of Labour Party came from, that Julius. So they suspended Julius. So they now said they got ex parte order that stopped Julius from being chairman. So Julius now went to court, right? And they dismissed the ex parte order. But Mr. Lamidi, you think he's only Mr. Yakubu Lumanche Baby Froster. That man are 80 years old, though, with thugs and all that. They broke into including police, so they broke into the headquarters of a Labour Party yesterday. And that's them. That was them there. I'll tell you how they normally do it. I told you that, what they are going to do in the coming days. A lot of you will be looking around and be like, what is going on? I'll kind of try to make you understand. See Mr. Lamidi Agbado.
Also,
Dr.
you guys are
the strongest
since Apoy absconded from the secretariat, Nigeria, this is the incoming acting chairman of Labour Party in Nigeria, Elder Papa Lamidi Apapa, who will take Labour Party to a greater height.
Thank you so much.
And I have one of the fine boys, I beg for make a change. Fine boy, this fine boy of Labour, Bishop Emeritus.
Do you see the leaders, the supposed elders or leaders that are demanding respect from young people? Now, let me make you understand what is going on. In case, if this is strange to you, okay? Nigeria politics is one of the kind of politics in the world that defies all logics, explanation, nothing, no data, no nothing. Just some bunch of criminals who are grouped in bigger parties and smaller parties too. So in Nigeria, the establishment, they allowed two bigger parties, which they have kind of shared amongst themselves, okay? But in Nigeria, they also have other political parties too. So what the bigger parties, what they do is they plant mills or moles inside all those smaller parties. In fact, some of the smaller parties are just the appendages of the main parties. So in this instance, we are talking about PDP and APC. So usually PDP were those who are usually in that game, right? You have a smaller parties where some of you are running away from PDP and APC, right? You will run to so that you think you can probably upstage them, only to get there to realize that their excos, chairman, and the rest of them, they are members of PDP, members of APC, but they are also members of all those smaller parties. So when you run away from the bigger ones and you get trapped by the smaller ones, there were instances, yeah? I mean, it was so bad that even if you have a very good intention to start a brand new political party, at least you have to rally for members, Abi. In the process of rallying for members, right, you would have to kind of supposedly attract members from the two bigger parties. They are politicians because they have experience, but at the end of the day, they ended up leading you back to them or scuttling everything you are putting together. It is so bad that I kind of ask myself, like, why do people get involved in the first place? If you really understand it very well, you will think, well, it's not worth it. Now, you know, Omoyele Sowore started his own political party afresh. This was supposed to be the younger people who have kind of renounced or sort of rejected oppression, right? Bad governance and all of that. As well as supposed older people who have kind of in their own history and life, right? They've sort of fought oppression, in quote. But do you know what happened? When the Wahala in AAC will start, all they needed was just somebody who have been seen with Omoyele Sowore, a part of their new political party, Ezenwa. God knows how much they gave him, or God knows what they promised him. Omo, they decided, right, to take over Showore's party, the party that the party that was supposed to be like inconsequential, according to the establishment, to that, like, well, Showore, we are talking about real people. Omo, when they wanted to actually like undermine him and destroy that same structure, right? All they had is just to pick Nigerians from inside the whole thing and give them money. Come and see those who were calling Showore leader. Showore trying to give them pathway. They then turned around and they started calling Showore names. In fact, that Showore must be expelled from his own political party. Guess those who were supporting them? APC. It started from Rivers State. Yeah. So when the obedience started, I still very much remember almost every day they will be begging on social media. They will be begging PDP, please give Obi your ticket. You can go to sleep. You can go to bed. We don't care about your history. We don't care about everything. You know what I mean? Just give Obi your ticket and then we'll do the rest of the job for you. I remember it got to a stage that some PDP vuvuzelas, they started attacking the supposed people who are just attracted. They were rejecting PDP. APC. And then they found Obi in PDP and they said, please give it to him, give it to him. Remember, there were those who also told him to go and contest. This guy didn't say, oh, I'm going to be president. Everything happened so fast on this same social media, right? It looked like it was a mirage. That was the original, the genesis of 4 people tweeting in a room. That was the reason why they were saying that they just multiply different fake accounts to be projecting like they are something, they are nothing. They are just 4 people tweeting in a room. That Peter Obi is just an online president. None of them believed that it could actually be so real in a space of 10 months. So what happened? This guy went, Obi, he was the only candidate, aspirant in PDP. He traveled all over 36 states in Nigeria, meeting PDP, until the last time when they told him that he's only wasting his time because he thinks good talk without money is what will win him the tickets. He doesn't have the money. So if he keeps saying that he's not going to give anybody shishi or anything, then it's just wasting his time. But they didn't know the kind of force behind him, the same force that has now forced APC to want to hijack Labour Party. Hijack Labour Party. So then he left PDP before their primaries and he said, well, I would not have any money to give to delegates. That was the moment, according to the obedience, that was the moment Obi opened their eyes, right, to what is called delegates in political parties and what they do and what they stand for. They were so heartbroken that they actually vowed that they will make sure that PDP will become nothing, irrelevant. And that's what they did. That because of money, some few people who collect money and just choose highest bidder to be just like that. They say, yeah, that's just like that. They started telling him that he should go to any party. And in their Nigeria law, there is something, is their law. They say there is something called waiver. Me, Mayegun, that doesn't belong to any of their political stuff in Nigeria. Tomorrow, I can just say, 2 weeks, or let's say 2 weeks to the deadline of nomination, right? Even after nomination, they can just put my name up and say, I have been given a waiver. National body gave me waiver so that I can run and contest. And by their law, it is legal. All this happened though. And some people started asking, Peter Obi has made the biggest mistake of his life. In fact, he has destroyed his political career. He should have waited inside PDP so that Atiku can pick him. Atiku was bragging. He said the only way for Igbos to be president of Nigeria was only through him. Only him. If Igbos want to be president of Nigeria. And Obi was impatient. You know what they expected? Dele Momodu came out and he said, they will teach Obi politics. He went to Labour Party. That he was a Labour Party presidential candidate. That when he spent his first 10 million and he couldn't see anything they did with the money, that he started sweating. That That Obi, that they will shop him, they will hit him raw. Because they thought he was coming to Labour Party to come and ask the NLC or Labour Party members. Many of them were PDP members and APC members anyway. They thought he was coming to them so that they can take him and an opportunity to milk him. But when he arrived, the obedient, they overran them. They took over. The first day he announced that he's joining Labour Party. The Labour Party with just 1,400 followers on Twitter. In 24 hours, they flew to over 400,000 followers. Immediately, disobedient, they divided themselves into different parts. Those who are going to be redesigning the website for Labour Party, redesigning a campaign, proper one for Labour Party, redesigning the social media presence of Labour Party. All of this, all these old thieves, and young of them are waiting for PDP, APC money. Nobody cared about them. Sure you get? They've already put on what they have to put on. Their national chairman happened to be a young guy who just kind of, moved along with the whole thing. And he did well. That Abure or Julius, what's his name again? It was these young people, right, that took over the entire campaign. They started the mobilization for what? Where you can go and register and vote. Now them, no, not Labour Party, these young people. So they took everything over. So if you see anything about Labour Party, here you get, they will be the one to fight you back. There was no Lamidi, there was nobody. Lamidi was in APC. They were campaigning for Tinubu. All the people you saw in that video, I'll show them to you again. Then you understand that Nigeria had to finish. Tinubu hasn't taken over. They haven't sworn him in. It will duplicate everything you know in Nigeria. Every association that you know in Nigeria, it will duplicate them. Every political party you have in it will duplicate them. His role in engineering with a wiki to further kind of divide the PDP for his sake, cannot underplay. Abi? So these young people took over everything. Fundraiser, their campaigns, jingles, souvenirs, everything. Then they arrived at this and they feel like they have been cheated. And that moment, pressure started. Are you with me? Pressure started. This is the truth. The pressure was the propaganda you have been seeing. The endless propaganda. But it seems the propaganda is not working. They need to take some bigger legal criminal moves. So the question people are asking is, why is APC so determined to crush Peter Obi? Somebody they said came third. But PDP, who came second, are not receiving the same attack from APC. Could it be that it is true that if nobody didn't win, Atiku didn't come second, and except they destroyed this guy and everything that has to, you know what I mean? Then there is wahala. Is there really a wahala that they are not telling you all about Obi and the obedient? I think I'll take that last one. Yes, there is wahala. For them to be expending this kind of resources in taking over a, 5 people taking over a party, and the job is that they want the new chairman. Okay? You know this guy, Adamu Mugabe. This was last night, Now they are the ones, you know, they are celebrating what is going on in labor. And they are like writing out what they want the new chairman to do. Look at that. This is somebody who is a member of Tinubu's Presidential Campaign Council, Adamu Mugabe. So do you now understand where this is coming from? Anyway, it's just a shame. Even Festus Otobo, Keyamo. Anyway, let me read this back, just like this. The NLC then responded, "We are alarmed by the decision of justice." This is their justice, so this is the judge that gave the ex parte order. Sure, you get ex parte, it's not like a court case. Now somebody walking into a place and say, "I want you to stop that person." APC way. Anyway, they say now Justice Hamza Muazu, High Court in Abuja, by ex parte to suspend from office the national chairman, the national secretary, national treasurer, and the publicity secretary of Labour Party, Julius Abure, Alhaji Farouk Ibrahim, Clement Ojukwu, and Okpara, respectively, on unfounded, unproven, and highly speculative, malicious allegations of corruption, perjury, and forgery by elements whose interest in the party could best be described as doubtful or dubious. The court order, according to Justice Hamza, is to subsist pending the hearing. That is pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice for interlocutory, blah, 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 blah. Let me take you to the end of it because it's going to be a long night. So they say, finally, the continued relevance of our court cannot be divorced from the quality of their decisions or rulings. Accordingly, our courts are advised to refrain from taking decisions which portray them as having descended into the arena, or worse still, make them picketable. So on our part, the grounds for suspending the quartet, either in the courtroom or outside it, are not there even as mischievous forces orchestrate evil. The quartet therefore remain executive of the party. In light of the foregoing, we invite the Honorable Court to review his decision forthwith. On the next adjourned date, we are going to be in court in our numbers to listen to the judge. So this is Tinubu trying to just, why are we even begging him to withdraw his court case? Why do we have to beg him? Why don't we just take over the entire party? And our people can just, we have judge, we have a son that can do all the job within a week, okay? And then we can withdraw the case and there will be no court case at all. Can you even believe that? And somebody is calling the obedient fascist. Fascists are those who want to own everything and own everyone. If you disagree, you go to jail or you go to exile or you go to the grave. Those are the fascists. The idea of if you don't go our way, we'll take everything. Hey, all they have to do is to go to court, and the court will say, for now, before we decide anything, for now, you cannot act in that position. And that's it. Really? And then they are celebrating. Because you know what? The only job that this guy have is tomorrow, on Monday morning, to go to court and say Labour Party is no longer part of the court case anymore. Because there is no problem with the election. They don't want any case anymore. They should pull out. But I have something for you. I don't know. I'm talking about precedence. So this man that Tinubu brought in, do you want to know his story? He is from Oyo State. Okay? The person behind this whole thing is Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State. Okay? So Dapo Abiodun, the governor of Ogun State, is the one funding this current move. And there is a guy in that same Ogun State. There is a Labour Party in Ogun State. Okay? There is this guy there. He's called Arabambi and the other one. They are two guys. I have known these guys as executive of a Labour Party probably from 1999. And they are always members of APC today and PDP tomorrow, any government in power. So these Sarabambi guys are those who went to court, okay? And then decided that, when this whole thing started, when this election went the way it went, they were those who started the court case, okay? And the moment, and that's how they do, that's what they do. I know, if you want to know them very well, right? You can look them up. That's what they do. They will have judges, they have lawyers, they have media. Channels Television actually gave them the platform to broadcast to millions of people that Labour Party has a new chairman. There was no basis for it. There's nothing. He was granting an interview and he said, what they want to do is to pull out from the presidential election petition that Obi is filing. They don't want to be part of it because there's no problem with the election. Those guys who were with Obi, they have destroyed Labour Party. Okay? And this man came to come and make Labour Party better, and they cannot go into legal whatever. From Oyo State to Ogun State, then to Abuja, here you get. And you can't really trace it straight away to Tinubu directly, but of course you know. Yeah? Now, I'll take you back to that clip. Here, when the urchin arrived.
Also, Dr. Lamidi, the strongest since Apoya absconded from the secretariat, where? Nigeria, this is the incoming acting chairman of Labour Party in Nigeria, Elder Papa Lamidi Apapa, who will take Labour Party to a greater height.
Thank you so much.
And I have one of the fine boys, I beg for fine boy, this fine boy of Labour, Bishop Emeritus.
Do you see the clowns? Do you see the jobless men that are ready to do the archer job all the time? Do you see the old men that would always say, young people have no respect? How do you respect people like that? Because they are old? Or they are older? Okay. Anyway, when Peter Obi was in Abga, his studio, the PDP, Chris and Andy Uba boys, they were those running the town then. Notorious, violent, and rich, powerful. One of them was aide. Andy, I think it was Andy that was an aide to Obasanjo. Federal connection and all of that. These guys were so powerful, right? That all they have to do whenever election comes in Anambra is just to write names. And then when the allocation of Anambra comes every month, they just sit back in the government house and they share the money. Workers, so infrastructure, zero. So they made Chris Ngige Okija Shatabandu. They made him governor. Then he decided that he wasn't going to give them what they agreed on. They took him to a shrine to swear that he would die if he doesn't give them the percentage of what they're asking from the federal allocation to the state every month. So when he failed to pay them that money, they kidnapped him, a whole state governor. Guess who contested with Ngige at the time? It was Peter Obi from Abga. They were laughing at him as some of you were laughing at him now. Or then, sorry, when you were laughing at him then. Now you are not laughing at him. Now you just want him gone. You actually don't want to experience what you experienced with him. In fact, you want them gone, but they are not going. You know what happened? Abga, that Peter Obi contested election on, right? The INEC declared Chris Ngige of PDP winner. The guy said he was going to go to court. They said it has never happened before. Nobody, no court can remove a sitting governor. He has money, he has connection, he has this. He belonged to ruling party. When their case started, it lasted for about 3 years. So Ngige finally survived the Uba brothers. But there was another trap. A trader called Peter Obi that is still in court. He is going to court every now and then to reclaim his mandate stolen by the Uba brothers, Andy and then Chris, for this Ukija Shatabandu. Then, when Chris Ngige was kind of feeling like he would be preparing for second term, bam. The court said, Ngige didn't win. In fact, he was never governor. In the face of the law. That was how this Obi came and surprised everyone. You know what happened before then? When they were still in court, APGA, his own political party, they withdrew from the court case, and they adopted Chris Ngige, PDP governor. They went into partnership with PDP. So Obi was in court. His own political party is already in government, in bed with PDP. So how is he going to do it? Until the breaking news that changed everything. By the time he came, you remember PDP was in government. They rigged the whole thing. The entire House of Assembly, they were entirely PDP. No APGA, no nothing. In Anambra. After a few months or so, they started impeachment process against him. You know why? Because he won't let them. This is so ridiculous. So the House of Assembly, right? They've approved budgets with ridiculous money that they want to spend on things, right? So when he got to his table and he started questioning this, questioning that, and he started slicing them, and he said, if they are not going to let it, if they're planning to spend this money, if it is their money, they should go and do that. If it is the state money, this is too much. They started impeachment against him. In fact, they impeached him, right, for not letting people steal money. That's it. They impeached him because he won't let them steal money. He went back to court again. By then, his own supposed deputy, Veggie Etiaba that became, immediately they impeached Obi. Veggie Etiaba became governor, first woman governor in Nigeria then. Not elected though, at least first governor. So he went back to court. Veggie Etiaba, right, that ordinarily, should be a peer to Obi. To satisfy those who impeached Obi, she started there trying to curry their favor by kind of giving them what Obi couldn't give them. So she was almost their candidate for another election again when the court also restated Obi. So his story around court and surprising the whole country, setting precedents and the rest of that, seems not to have been told these guys in the Labour Party. That's the old way of doing things. So buy people in the party and at the end of the day collapse the entire thing. So if you say you want to fight the establishment, they would have defeated you even before the whole fight starts. But one thing they are not paying attention to is that Labour Party just seems to be a vehicle for them. The obedient who seems to have started loving the party, some of them have started mobilizing members. So yeah, go and register. Go and register to join Labour Party and be members. Now Lamidi is here. To what? To put a total break into your rolling wheel. But you trust the obedient. Anyway, some of their leaders responded. Listen to this. They'll tell you their story. Abuja, APC want to take over Labour Party. Omo, me ugbori.
Just about some hours ago, we were amazed at the report that we had that some hoodlums and thugs invaded the party secretariat, national secretariat of our party, at Utako,
and destroy so many property, carted away documents, chase our staff away, committed all sorts of activities that is not in tandem with the rule of law. Actually, we were told that they went to court and took a particular order. But they did not wait for the court to determine whatever motion of notice is, and they took law to their own hand to come and destroy our secretariat. That is why we, as a very, very important organ of NEC, the Council of Chairmen in the whole country, which continue NEC alongside the National Working Committee of our party, have decided to come here to do an on-the-spot assessment. And on getting here, we discovered that this set of people, some of them are suspended members of the party, who are no more members of our party. Some of them are people that have sold the party out to other political parties, which the party is still investigating. But to our utmost surprise, we discovered that they have violated our rights as a political party. And they have gone all around to intimidate all the security agents and so many. And we are saying that we cannot be intimidated. We cannot be harassed. Yes. We cannot be cowed to be So Labour Party has come to stay in Nigeria. Yes. And we want to address all political parties to allow us, leave us alone. Yes. I want to tell security agencies to not become political party members. Because police are not political party members. So they should do what is right according to the rule of law. You cannot be a judge in your own case. They are judged in their own case. They want to carry law into their own hand. And that's why we are here with our entire members from all over the federation to receive this obnoxious and this evil move to derail us from pursuing the court Nigeria has given to us. Yes. Nigeria really gave us their mandate on the 25th of February this year. Yes. And on that mandate we stand. Yes. That's why we believe in the rule of law. And that's why we have gone to court to say we are challenging this in the court. They should leave us alone. Instead of creating diversion and division in our party, we will not agree. That's why we want the whole world to know that today we have come back to our party, and our party is our own, and we have begun the legal process, the criminal proceeding against all the perpetrators of this very evil and barbaric act. Yeah.
When you say leave us alone, who are you referring to?
We are talking about that political party because we know some of these people have been sponsored. They are sponsored by people, by parties. And that's why yes. So, and Julius Abure remain our chairman. It is only a court of complaint jurisdiction and also the National Executive Council, which is net that can remove it. And that cannot be done behind closed doors. It has to be done through a national convention. And we are saying Labour Party was in shambles before. But if you all know this of Labour Party, you can see that Julius Abure has done the best for Labour Party. Yes, so Labour Party in the last election were able to win about 11 or 12 states. Yes. You can see that within how many months? 6 months. Nigeria won Labour Party. So we are not fighting any party, but what we are saying is that we have come to stay. And they should allow us to run our party the way we want to run it. Yes. And we want to advise all these elements, all these uncolored personalities that are in our midst, that want to negate the will of Nigeria. The case is in court. And we will not allow anybody to distract us. We are focused, we are determined, we are resolute to get our mandate back. Yes. Labour Party! Forever! Humanity! Forever!
You want to talk to me? Okay, identify yourself.
What state are you from? I'm from Kwara State.
Your name again?
My name is Achike.
So please identify yourself.
Yes, my name is Barrister Kasmian Tinubu. I'm the chairman in the Labour Party. Well, what is happening here is very unfortunate because Labour Party is a party of rule of law. And our principal, P2B, has maintained that we must be guided by the constitutional provisions of this land and the rules of the party. And it is very unfortunate that those who have run this party for some years are doing acts of brigandage and criminality in terms of enforcing their own rights. You cannot take law into their hands. The provision of the law is very clear. And the mechanism of resolution of conflicts in party is very clear. In our constitution, you have to exert that mechanism before going to court. And we went to court, obtained an order, and we came back to enforce the order by ourselves. It is really very unfortunate because there are frivolous provisions of the act. What I'm saying in effect is this. They went to court on ex parte motion, and in the ex parte motion, they mixed criminality with civil proceedings, civil process. And the judge that the court that gave them that order erred in law because there are a lot of cases by Supreme Court that once you have element of criminality in any motion, you must put the other party in motion on notice. so that he'll be heard. You cannot kill a man, you cannot shave a man's head in his absence. And they have done this to this party. And we are saying, we are referring to a party in particular in this country that is known by act of criminality and brigandage, and that is APC. APC should leave Labour Party alone. We won the election in this country fair and square by P2B, and we have abided by the rule of law. We went to court to challenge it. They should allow the court process to finish. What they are doing is to enforce their men, their machineries on Labour Party, and it's all Labour Party nationwide, and we got the case in court. And Labour Party will say no to that act of criminality. So on this note, we are saying Julius Abure is the authentic chairman of Labour Party in Nigeria. And there's nobody.
Sure you get. Like you said, you told them to go to court. Why don't you let the court decide? If they lose, in court, then so be it, Abi. So why can't you let them? I mean, why do you want to take over their party? Yes, now it's a strategy. You see, when you see these criminals and their supporters when they speak, right? According to them, what they are doing there is a political strategy. In a democracy in Nigeria, is a political strategy by wiretapping the opposition, by taking over their political party through court, and then dissolving their entire political party, and at the same time denying them access to necessary electoral materials in an election that they validly participated in, and they are in court to prove that, you know what I mean? So all of these are not kind of sign of any democratic country, except the demonstrating of craziness, which is called the demonstration of craze. That's exactly what you've got in Nigeria. But they call it strategy. Strategy, criminality strategy. Something you will do and go to jail, and you will never come out of jail forever in a working society. But according to Nigeria and Nigeria criminals, it is a strategy to fight your enemy. No wonder it is the APC, Egbekegbe, that are celebrating that, unfortunately. The den of criminals. You know that? Okay. The next stage is going to be the secret and open arrest of anyone and everyone associated with anyone and everyone associated with Obi, associated with Labour Party, associated with obedient. That is the next stage. It is called the scare tactic. They're going to deploy it. They've already started. Some of you are going to be stopped at airports. Some of your bank accounts are going to be frozen. Okay? And some of you are already being wiretapped anyway, and you're already being followed. All of these operations are going to happen simultaneously. When the likes of Professor Wole Soyinka said, the obedient are fascists, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on my screen with you, because I've kind of wanted to do that, okay? What is the definition of fascism, okay? So let's use Google. Professor Wole Soyinka called the young people that have come under different attacks the political candidate or presidential candidate that has come under state-sponsored spyware and then wiretapping, including state-sponsored propaganda, misinformation, and demarketing. He didn't see APC, Egbekegbe, as, what do you call it, as fascist, okay? Because he is a friend of Kolu, in case some of you have forgotten, okay? And he's also a friend of APC, even though he's an individualist. Professor Wole Soyinka is an individualist, somebody who kind of, he doesn't have a religion, okay? He created his own religion. So when they say somebody is individual, it's somebody that just believes in his own thing, his own idea, his own vision, and every other thing like that. Is a lone man, lone ranger. I mean, an individualist. You know what they say, individualist. Somebody, I'll come to that. But it's also, that's also a pretense. It's sort of a facade, a lie, because he is a friend of the system. His own son was the Earth Commissioner under APC, Egbekegbe in Ogun State. And this is just a compensation for him from Amosun. We all know that. His son, Dr. Olaokun, right, asked him, what was his son's contribution to the health development in Ogun State? The people, well, the Ogun State people actually know his son very well. Anyway, it is just a facade. Calling the victims of a state-sponsored terrorism, political terrorism, calling them fascists is intentional. And this could be why, or one of the whys.
Incidentally, you may not remember this. Apparently, the symbol that we used during that time, which was supposed to be symbolic of growth, because it was a shrub. Apparently, that shrub looked very much like marijuana. We didn't know it at the time. Somebody pointed it out later on. But finally, Bola said, what are we going to do? We have to find funds. I said, well, you're the businessman. What can you do? So, well, I've heard that there's a rice line between Taiwan and other places. I think that I can get a contract to sell rice between Taiwan and Africa. So I said, well, okay, go ahead and sell rice. He said, yes, but you see, they require letters of recommendation. And I said, well, so you have to write one. I said, me, I don't know anything about rice. I don't know anything about business. Nobel laureate, write and say, we're trading in rice. Give the letter to me. I will take it to the government of Taiwan, and they will supply the rice. I will sell. I will use the money for the revolution.
That's Professor. Anyway, when he called the obedient fascists, now look at your screen, right? This is the definition of a fascism. To those of you who are possibly also wondering like me, so let's check it out. Okay, so say fascism or fascism, a way of organizing society in which a government ruled by a dictator controls the lives of the people, and in which people are not allowed to disagree with the government. So the rise of fascism in Europe before World War. So if you go a little bit further, right, and say, what does fascism mean in simple terms? Say it. Fascism is generally defined as a political movement that embraces far-right nationalism and the forceful suppression of any opposition, all overseen by an authoritarian government. Fascists strongly oppose Marxism, liberalism, and democracy, and believe the state takes precedence over individual interests. John Tory alone. Who among all the political actors you have been following since they started their charade in Nigeria? Who among all these actors have all these traces that I just mentioned now? Those who are like, once their leaders say, that's exactly, anybody that opposes it is an enemy, they must fight and tear them. Who are those with that character? So that Wole Soyinka intentionally called them fascists is because he knows that international media, when they want to quote him, right, it is a strong word, okay? A very strong word profiling people. And it wasn't done by error because the professor, he has doubled down. Oh. Professor responded after that, and he said, if you want to fight me, come and fight me. Baba, kilode. Kilode, Baba. Suddenly you are alive now. A lot of people have been asking of you for the past 10 months when APC, Egbekegbe, went on this their Muslim jihad, turned the country apart, and suddenly Baba want to fight. He is asking Dati for a debate, by the way. He's asking Dati to come out and debate him. I said, Kilevel debate, sir. On what basis, Gango? What will be the point of your debate? To debate economy, abi to debate election, abi to debate what exactly? To debate law. Sure you get. Somebody has something for him. And it's
this. A situation where a Nobel laureate, all of us virtually deify beyond canonization, begins to now have a cloud of doubt before him, losing a moral compass and talking about fascism. That's the most individualistic human being I've ever seen in my life in terms of individuality of the human subject. Shoyinka is not bound to anything in terms of guided by individuals or spirits. He's his own being, his own entity, ontologically speaking. For him now to descend into the arena, not make comments that are worthy of him before the election, with ethnic profiling, with violence in Lagos, as something way into this matter. Many stakeholders have said, is that the Wole Soyinka we know?
Well, in fairness to him, he did condemn the issue of ethnicity and all the rest of it.
That looks almost casual, almost like a parenthetical construction in terms of narrative. That's a different matter altogether. Let me not be too harsh on our mentor. Somebody brought us up in the field of literature. We'll let you know, Chape. Focus on those in government. Focus on Lai Mohammed. Focus on the campaigning frustration of Bola Tinubu. Focus on the people who speak for him, who write to NBC, who ask journalists to be sanctioned when they've not even taken power. Nigerians should be allowed about what is coming before them. That's the real fascism Soyinka should be talking about. A fascism of a president-elect whose own strategic communication team is choking down the life of the media. He's actually telling them to be prepared for having a rough ride that Buhari even never gave them. He treated the media women with contempt and he snubbed them. Okay, that's fine. He didn't care. He didn't bother. This was telling you, we're going to match you every inch. The space you created for yourself in the past 8 years, we're going to shrink it.
Well, listening to you talk, I'm quaking in my boots at the
It's messy.
No, I mean, it's not funny.
It's not funny.
Because that is exactly what is coming. The media will be choked down. The people will be fed with trash. And the real fascism is that anybody that opposes that, these guys are staging protests. That Nigerians should not protest. That the Nigerian police, Nigerian army should stop Nigerians from protesting because of that election. They are not in power. But they are not fascist, according to Soyinka. And people that are kind of trying to you see, a lot of you want to use these old glories. Just like Nigeria. Some of you don't even know that. The real new glory that our own children will probably have to look back and say, oh, that time and that time, are the glories that they are dimming now, they are destroying now, that they actually don't want them to come. Now, Nigerians are now going abroad for glory. Anthony Joshua, Omo Yoruba Tata, Omo Shagamwe Luku Mede. Anthony Joshua that represents Britain, not Nigeria. So we are now importing. You see, look at this one now. Chimamanda, a world-renowned, award-winning publisher, writer, publisher. But they are where? They are safer outside Nigeria. Sure, you know. So Nigeria living on old glory. When Nigeria was still Nigeria. Do you know Nigeria? When Nigeria was Ekomong. And all of this thing. You don't know Nigeria. Nigeria has old glory. Old glory. You suddenly turn to slaves in your country. The people that used to speak up and stand up for the people, they became sucked into the system and they started speaking in tongues. Some of the young people don't even read Soyinka anymore. And what they know about him is that what people said, oh, everybody always talk about this man and all of that. But see, they put him in the square to open him up for dragging, and now he's asking for a debate. Noble Loretti, somebody whose mates, they are meeting at the United Nations, contributing to world peace. Man, they ask for debates. You want to debate constitution with dirty. You want to debate treason with dirty. You want to debate the behaviors of the young people who are intolerant. Yes, they say that disobedient are intolerant. That is debatable. You know that. It's debatable. When you see elderly people misbehaving, supposedly elderly people, most of them now misleading young people. They misled them in 2015. They told them lies. Buhari, it was Buhari that wanted to change Nigeria. It was Buhari this and that. They deceived young people. And then they left them in the cold. Then they started living they started walking about with this moral, what do you call it? This moral compass. Don't disrespect your elders. Don't talk to Buhari like that. Don't you have a father at home? Now there are those who are now saying that young people are disrespecting them. Sure you get. It's debatable. You want to bully them. You misled them. Some of them, bullied, misinformed. They believed in your change and all your lies. Soyinka is not even forgiven for his role in bringing Bokwari to government, where he publicly called the wife of a president of a country. He called her. See, I want to remember, you see, with all those grammars that nobody actually cares about anymore, all those meaningless grammars. It's just because, wow, nobody cares about those things anymore. Let's be honest, okay? Now, he called the wife of a president something like a bedroom appendage. He didn't want to say the wife of the president. Said the bedroom appendage, who is a hippopotamus to a King Nebuchadnezzar. Do you know what happened to King Nebuchadnezzar? He turned to animal and he was feeding on grass. That's what Soyinka said. In that position, he was fighting for Nigeria. He was outspoken. They praised him. The progressives. Professor Tisoro. Kongi Tisoro. That same man, which I believe in his way is true, that the obedient are intolerant. They don't want to listen to you. They don't want to listen to your romantic words. They know now when people are trying to deceive them. You can't use big English to deceive them anymore. Go straight to the point or go to hell. And they don't care about your age. Have you not seen the rage in the land? How could you deny that and then decide to kind of label them? They call them fascists. Fascists, that means because they disagree with them on social media. They haven't attacked anybody and they have not threatened anybody of anything, but every day they receive threats, some of them being attacked, some of them being killed. But those who are killing them, those who are attacking them, they are justifying the attack on them because the obedience are not bending for them on social media. That's the reason, and they have to die. A lot of you actually buys that and you are with them. But don't worry, it is called doing justice. Everybody will have a bite. Let's go back to that Abuja again, because there's some other story there. After the whole drama, the police have now taken over the Secretariat of Labour Party. You should expect more and more and more. In fact, more media presence for Lamidi Agbado, Lamidi Wolf, and his other thugs. They will give them so much media presence that, in fact, but it is APC doing all of that. So you can think of what is going to be yours when they finally get that power. Here is the other part of that conversation.
Please just talk for 2 minutes. You can go to the studio. Your body pass. Well, I am Comrade Obalo KSC, a distinguished member of NSC. I am here to say that the NWC is a subordinate organ to the leg of Labour Party. Therefore, when a fraction of it is coming here to take laws into his hand, it becomes a total nullity. And this is even further compounded when those who are taking this action are members of the party who have since been suspended for the activity of the party. And as at the time they took this action, the suspension had not been lifted. And therefore, we are saying here that the 36 chairmen of Labour Party around the state have come to possess its own property. Because this miscreant led by Apapa to this place are no people who has authority to control this party. But this detachment here has the authority in law to be in charge of the party. And we are fair that Comrade Barrister Julius Abure is the party chairman and he remains so. NSC as of today has confirmed that in their communications. And so we have come here to tell the people of the world that the action of this fraction is a total nullity and should be disregarded because the action does not follow the content of the rules and constitution of Labour Party.
How many chairmen are here now?
We are 28 chairmen here.
Hold them.
No, Edo is here, Anambra is here, Ekiti is here, Sokoto is here, Kaduna is here, Kano is here, Kogi is here, Ebonyi Delta is here, Kwara is here, Benue is here, Odo is here, Osun is here. So of course, we are 28 all here. We are not taking any
we have a diversity of those that we want to listen and listen to it in our own website. It's
okay, Shasha. It's outside. I thought you want to speak in English.
yan karamba da suka zo suka ce za su jam'iyya ta ƙarfi ba su bi ƙa'idojin constitution na Labour Party wanda ke ɗaya daga cikin ƙa'idojin Labour Party ɗin nan shi ne suka yi doka akwai yan WC wanda sai sun zauna kuma sai an fidda NEC sannan a je a yi convention sannan a ce an fidda sabon shugabanci kuma ko da za a fitar da kiyace ga kwamiti da sai yan WC sun zauna sun ba da goyon baya yarjejeniyar ga wanda za a saka a dalilin wasu dalilai da shi ma constitution ya riga ya tabbatar saboda haka wannan abubuwa ne ake mana shi na makarkashiya ko na cin gindinmu ko kuma na san a nufin kusa Labour Party a ƙasa baki ne saboda irin nasar da aka Allah ya ba Peter Obi da shi da Julius Abure a matsayin shugabannin su na jam'iyyar Labour Party saboda haka muna nan akan bakanmu na cewa ba za mu gudu ba za mu ja da ba mu masu bin doka ne wanda ya doka ne doka kuma da muke bi su babu alama wanda suke so su faru jam'iyyar ta karfin siyasa suna bin doka duk da ba su bin doka to za mu iya fito musu da shi.
Amen. See, if you are speaking a language I don't understand, I don't care what you are saying. I'll just say Kokari Aluala. Amen.